Hello there, everybody, and let's first make a sound check. Can you hear me okay? Because this has always been the thing for me. It looks like it works perfectly. But yeah, it's an interesting thing to do this live stream again. The last live stream was the Global Photo Project countdown in August last summer, and I haven't been doing these live streams after that. And I also switched the software that I'm using. I'm using what do you call it, OBS now, because it's actually a free software and it's very, very powerful, and you can do all kinds of things with it. I'm not gonna play with all the bells and whistles that you can use that, but the reason that I switched was that I used to have not Stream Deck, I mean I don't remember the name of the software right now, but it was $20 a month, which now is $88 a month. So I decided to go with the free version, and also with that StreamYard it was. Yeah, StreamYard. And what they also had was like you had to click like 8 times different agreements and logging in after you could find the price, and I think it's a ripoff. So I'm using OBS now, and I think it's 2 voices overlapping there. I wonder where that is from. I do have all the off, so I don't see here at all. Okay. Good to hear that it was not my system, because it's always the hardest part is the audio. I can handle the images or the video okay, but you know, this is really hard because I can't really monitor the audio at the same time. But yeah, if we go into your best images, there were 150 about those images, and that's why I decided to have a bit more than normal. That's 32 images. And as you probably know, that I've had some time on my hands recent weeks, because I snapped my Achilles tendon, so I still have a kind of like a cast on my leg, so I can't really photograph that much. And yesterday I was photographing. I was making a video about the fishing technique, which I will post next week on Friday, and luckily I had Matti Solanto helping me film that. But it was so great. I hadn't taken one single photograph in a month, so it was so nice to be outdoors yesterday and photographing, and getting to be able to move now that the leg is getting better, and actually it's supposed to heal better if I move a bit more than I did for the first couple of weeks with the real big cast on my leg. But I think it's getting better now, and the prognosis is pretty good, so I might be able to walk with my two legs. And let's see where you guys from. Unfortunately, there's something wrong. I can't pop out the chat messages on the screen this time, because I don't know, I messed up something. I need to figure that out for next week's live stream, which I will talk a little bit later. But I got some familiar names there, and UK, Switzerland, Germany, Netherlands, Selah, Washington, Michigan, US, Switzerland, California, Copenhagen, Pennsylvania, UK, Finland, Kuopio, Finland, North Carolina, Czech Republic, Devon, UK, Germany, Shropshire, UK, I don't know how to say that, Australia, North Wales. Yes, OM3 is coming, and I did have one in my hand today. I met with the OM system people that are working here in Finland, so I had a short meeting with them, and I will test it later when I can properly do some street photography with it. Well, if you want to see that, I do have a photograph of the camera with my M1, which is from 71, the first SLR from Olympus, which was then renamed OM1 because Leica did not like that they named the first camera M1. And yeah, let's get this over with. There it is, right next to, so you can see that it is quite similar to the M1, it's a gorgeous camera, the OM3, but we'll talk about that in a future video sometime. And yes, Switzerland again, Israel, California, East Yorkshire, London, East London, yeah, all over the world again, from Australia to California. That's around the world, which is always nice. And as I said, 150 images, which is the record amount of images that I got this time. And I think it's time to go to the images. And I hope this slideshow thing works here. Let's start with Patrick Vermissen's image. What is only thing he says, that photo taken at the shooting day Lear. And yeah, I like this image a lot because it has some elements from the Gestalt principle video that I made. And that is interesting idea or principle about how our brain works when we look at images. And it's, if you haven't seen it, it's actually pretty interesting, even though I said myself that it's my video. But anyways, it is interesting, and it has gotten a lot of comments and a lot of views, so it resonated with you, which is always nice. As you see here, there is lots going on, and of course the first thing you see is the lady with the dog posing for the guy with the camera, and then you have two people walking by in the background looking at that. And I think there's a lot of going on in the image, and I think it's a good story too. So well done with this image. I really enjoy this because of a lot of things happening, but it's still not too busy. It's still, things are at its place. And then there's also looks like a photo studio in the background. If you see the bright light, I don't know if you can see the mouse here, but you can see the light back there, which is also, of course, something interesting again. But yeah, these type of street photographs are something that I enjoy, and it's you would think that it's easy to make one of these images, but it's not, because cities are crowded. And also one thing that is always when you have more people in an image is how their legs are. Are they walking or standing, and how do they look? And it's something that you cannot do, because you have to look, of course, what's happening with the main subject, which is, of course, the photographing here. And for some reason, it's just works, and the perfect spots, the two people that are walking in the background, they're just in a perfect spot. I really enjoy this very simple image, which looks like it's very easy to make, but it's not. It doesn't work, so I have to. Just a moment, I'll fix that. Well, I can't get it. Let's try one more time. Let's go back here, and I'll do it from here. And then the next one is a mother and child enjoying a sunset ride at a carnival in Hong Kong. I have titled it Together We Fly, and this is by Emma Beale. Yeah, very interesting image, and I like the composition because it's not the conventional. It's a little bit off, which, in my opinion, makes it more interesting, that you have the what do you call the ride, anyways, and you can see the chains, and then you can see, and you know what it is, even though it's not sharp. There's a lot of motion blur, but then you can see the motion. You can see that it's going around, and that makes it really interesting. You can see the speed, and I like the colors and the color tones and everything. It's a stunning shot, and I also like the way the thing that it is a little bit like 16:9. It's kind of makes it more effective that way. And then, of course, the composition, as I said, is a bit off in a good way. So there is something off, so it makes it a lot more interesting. It's a very good image. And then the third one is from Riccardo Barretti, and this is from Birmingham, UK, on a wet day in March. I was visiting the area and spotted a young child taking an interest in the statue. I like the stare of the bull and the child, and the raindrops add an extra dimension to the statue. Yeah, this is one of those interesting street photographs because you do have some kind of a connection with the child and the statue or the bull, because it looks like it's looking at the little kid, and the little kid is, I don't know what is going on, and it in a way raises some questions. And I also like that you have the background sharp, so that it kind of like makes a lot more context to the image when you have the background, so it's not too blurry, but I think it's just perfect. And the colors, of course, you have the green jacket, and then you have the red in the background, which is also, of course, red color is also something that triggers a bull. So that's also kind of like a bonus here. Yeah, well done, Ricardo. And then this really stunning abstract image in a metro station in Berlin, which was made by Tenzin Pellier. And it was during a photo walk that was conducted by a professional photographer in Berlin. And that's Rotes Rathaus subway station in Berlin. And I like the motion blur that there is, and the surroundings is still sharp, so it's very well done. And of course the color contrast with the yellow and the black and the white, so it's something really interesting. And also the lights up there are adds a little bit, and then because of the light here you kind of think that, okay, this is white, but you kind of think that this comes from the lights, so that there is also that, which I think is quite nice to have. And also the shape that you have here in the front, and the fact that the looks like the metro is kind of you can see through the wall. I don't know what is that. Is that a rail or something which is in front, but it's perfectly in line with the metro coach, and it's very well done, this image. And the fact that there are no people in there too is kind of interesting too, because if there was one person, I don't know if this could be slightly better, but I'm not sure. It's hard to tell or hard to say. Maybe it's would have been a too cliche if there was one person standing. Now it's something different. And metro stations usually in a big cities aren't empty, so that's also something that is worth photographing if that ever happens. Then we have this image by Lorenz Schwiderski, and this was taken during the lineup of cars for the cruise night of the Morro Bay, California car show weekend. And it was taken with a 15mm micro four thirds, so it's about a 30mm equivalent field of view. And yeah, this is a very classical, old-fashioned, which in a good way, street photograph. And I like the fact that the Lauren has gone, down in the level of the car and had the car in the front, and which is almost halfway or almost to the middle, this part, and so it's a big part of the image, but you still have a lot of stories here, and it's kind of like a timeless in a way that you don't know when it was taken, and even though it's a brand new image, you could think that it was taken in the 50s. Maybe the car isn't that old. I don't know what year model that car is. But yeah, this is a beautiful street photograph, which I love a lot. And also the fact that there is some light behind the guy here and some shapes from the shadow and all that. It's if that person was wearing white, it would be even more striking. But that's something that you cannot control. I think it's a stunning image, just like it is. Yeah, let's go to the next one. This is an hilarious image. Thomas de Bernardi I luckily caught the dog with a wild look in its eye. Well, I don't know. I'm not gonna say what else looks pretty wild on this one, but it's just one of those moments that you have to really react quickly. And yeah, and the eyes, of course, looks strange. And I like that the way that you have cropped the image so that you don't see the faces. And then also one funny thing is that looks like the pants are a little bit too short here, and you got some funny socks, and so there are lots of kind of interesting details in the image. And then this person is has probably a baby or strollers here, so the fact that it's behind the two persons and the dog here is good thing, because it would be maybe a bit too distracting if it was like over here. Now it's kind of behind there and doesn't distract the image. So the perfect timing with everything on this image. And usually it takes, cooperation from the people that are in the photograph, even though you're not, of course, telling what to do. It just happens, and then you just have to be, quick when things happen. And this is one of those things that we also called hunting method. You just walk around and you see something, and then you might wait for a little while and get the shot. You sense that something's going to happen, and then you just see the image or the image in front of you, and then it's only just to grab it. And that's why I always talk about that you should have kind of like base settings on your camera, so that it doesn't matter. You just click the shutter and you're good to go. You don't have to start thinking about apertures and shutter speeds and all that. So then, that's where automatic things help you a lot catch these shots, because when this happens, you don't have time to think about what aperture should I use or everything like that. You just need to make the shot, because otherwise you will miss that. And then totally different image. This is Johannes Pokorn, shot at an exhibition/open house of an underground artist commune in my hometown, Graz, Austria. I don't know why, but the scenery reminds me somewhat of Van Gogh's painting of his room in Arles. Yeah, this is nice and simple composition. And what I like about it is that it's a little bit off balance, because everything is on this side and this side is empty. And that makes it a lot more interesting if it was just a symmetrical, because many of us probably would have taken an image like this, like a vertical version, portrait mode, which would, of course, could have worked, but it would have been a bit duller than this. And then this little thing here on the side. I don't know, to be honest, I don't know if you see the mouse at all, but on the left side there is something on the floor which adds a little bit to the image. And I think it's very good. And the minimalistic color palette too, that you have overexposed but not too much. And this is important when we're doing digital photography, that you can't blow out these too much, because if you do, it kind of looks ugly. But this is just on the edge. You have some details in the window, but it's still pure white and different from the white indoors, which of course draws our eye immediately to the window. Well done. Then we had this from Jens Degard. The picture is taken on a square in Lisboa's old district Alfama, a grandmother licking the sun while her grandson bathing in a well. There is a festival going on, and the shadows are from a colorful garlands, but with converting to black and white, it creates a mood where you think of a prison bars and plays with the sadness. Amazing how pictures can affect you. Yeah, it is, in a way, because of the shadows, as you said. Jens Degard, I mentioned the name, yeah. Yeah, it is kind of like a prison, because it's a bit rough-looking place, even though I've been to a couple of times in Lisbon, so I can, feel that it is from there. And what I was kind of thinking that the first when I looked at the images, this shadows look a little bit odd, and you would first you see that it's on the wall, but then you realize that it's a shadow. And one kind of odd thing is that the shadow behind the lady is behind the head, but it doesn't go, the face, it's on the shoulder, so that looks also a little bit odd. But of course, it's a little bit diagonal, but still you kind of look straight ahead, the lady, and yeah, there is a little bit sadness on the image, and a lot of stories in it. And of course, if it's around a festival and that, I wonder what this would look like in color. Maybe this is better this way because of the mood, of the feeling that it gives in black and white, as Jens said in the comment. Yeah, well done again. And then this one is a stop on our road trip through Andalusia, Spain. Yeah, this is a bit surreal image, and without the story, it would be like, what's going on? What is this? And it could be a car ad in a way, but still, it's something. All the colors, the blonde hair, the black car, black clothes, black forest in the shadow, and then you have these, whatever these white, not flowers, but whatever these are, and then you have the white shoes. I particularly like white shoes in black and white photograph because it kind of separates the person from the background, and everything goes well. I don't know if this is an action shot, probably not posed, but yeah, very surreal image, and works well. It's kind of like a mix of travel, street, and advertisement, so it has a lot of things going on in the image. Because I could say that this you brighten up this a little bit, and then you put mini logo over there, and there you have it. But it could work as a piece of art in the context of street photographs or travel too. Yeah, that's why I really enjoy this image a lot. Then we go to Croatia, Dubrovnik, a girl leaving a Franciscan monastery to rejoin the tourist crowd. Yeah, this is a better version of people walking and you're photographing behind a person because of the crowd here, and then you have some light up here, which kind of makes the shadow and the shiny floor or whatever that is called, and then the lamp in the upper left corner is also an interesting addition, and it is white. It looks like it's been brightened a little bit in post, but I'm not sure because it's glass and the kind of like light is coming from behind it, so it might be like that. But it's a good if it was brightened, because I think it's kind of makes our eye a little bit wonder. Most likely we see the girl in the first, and then we go back there, and then we see the crowd, and we come back. So there's a kind of like a triangle, which is usually a good thing in an image, that our eyes it grabs on something, and then it starts to go around the image. It usually benefits the image. It has some kind of a circle so that the eye doesn't wander out of the image. And that's why, slight vignetting here. It might be a natural vignetting in the place, or maybe it has been added a little bit. That's usually another way of keeping the people's eye in the right spot on the image, because you as a photographer, you should try to do that. Yeah, again, well done. Did I say Alejandro Valades was the photographer here? Sorry if I didn't mention that earlier. No, this is Sarah Turner. Sorry. Sarah Turner, yes. Sorry, my bad. And then this is Volker Grosse. This image is part of my little project, Dialogues. Yeah, this is stunning, and I can just see that this is the... If you can get a better image, then congratulations, because this is almost perfect for that type of set of images or project, because I would have this as the advertisement. Of course, I haven't seen the other images. If they were better, then congratulations, but this is just hilarious. This is hilarious image. And yeah, this is the dialogue of today. They're sitting right next to each other. I don't know if the probably the lady that is behind the WC sign is not part of the group, or maybe it is. I don't know. But they all, of course, having a conversation in their own world. Yeah, this is just beautiful image and little humor too. It makes me smile and laugh a little bit, and yeah, really well done. And then this is Antti Holopainen, and he was walking by the river, and then there was this lady brushing her dog. And what I like about this is the eye contact with the dog, and you don't really see the hand that's in the lower left corner. There is the brush and the hand. I think the perfect moment to take the photographs because the hand is not very visible. You don't really see it. Maybe darkening it a little bit with a small vignette would make it just disappear almost altogether. And also the composition is nice. It's nice framing around the green leaves and the bokeh balls there, are really framing the image really well. And then the eye contact with the dog is just perfect. Usually when there is an eye contact, it doesn't matter if it's a person or an animal. It usually is more powerful image if people look straight into the camera. That usually works. Well done. Well done. Then we have John Simpson, who says that he is a documentary photographer, documents the plight of homeless in Olympia, Washington, U.S. The man in the photograph said that his name is Mountain Wizard and that he had served in the military. He also stated that he has been homeless for 5 years, over 5 years. I think this photograph captures his plight. Yeah, it does. It's a very strong image. And as I said many times, that if you are photographing these type like homeless people, always try to get their consent and communicate with them, maybe help them, maybe buy them a meal or something to help them when you make these images. I think that's never do these candid or with long tail photos. That's not nice. But communicating with them, you get really strong images. And this is, I think, part of also, you could say that this is part of kind of street photographs where you connect with the people. It's a different niche in that, and I think it's a beautiful image. And I like the composition too, that there is some emptiness and some negative space, and so that it's not just a portrait, but there is more. And the brick wall is kind of is in a prison in a way, or in a hopeless situation, which is not sad, but it's a very, very strong image. Very strong. Yeah. Then we have, the previous image was by John Simpson, if I didn't mention. Then we have Wade Armstrong, Star Trails, Aurora and light painted truck on Canadian August evening. Yeah, it works beautifully, and Star Trails on a image like this, and then there is probably some kind of light over here because there is some light in the front of the truck. If it would have been possible to light the truck a little bit more, but it's you might not have extra light with you. But if you're doing photographs like this, having a flashlight with you just so that you can paint a little bit on the car or whatever there is in front. And usually, if you have something else than just the Star Trails, like this one, the car, I think it makes the image a lot better. But if you don't have, and you have a possibility to test this, and of course, if you have cameras with live comp like Olympus and OM System cameras have, then just try it. It's fascinating, and and there are some auroras in the back too, and the color is the blue truck, and all that. And what I like about it also is that many times you see these Star Trails that all the stars are white, but if you have the perfect exposure, then, or in this case usually it's the aperture and of course how long the one image takes, so in that sense also the exposure. all the stars are different colors. And here you can see blue, red, yellow, all kinds of colors, which makes it a lot more interesting. So if you have the possibility to test it and tweak the exposure so that you can get the colors of the stars. I don't know where those colors come from. Are they the natural colors, or do they reflect that type of light or whatever? I don't know where that comes from. But it's a stunning image. Well done. Then we have this, which is Keith Johnson. Every time I see this, I'm so happy for the fish. His wide-eyed reflection in the water cracks me up. Perfect for this week's. I don't know if this was sent to this one, but anyways. Yeah. Anyways, it was a hilarious image because you would kind of think that this is the head of the bird. It goes down. You can kind of make it continue under the water. And it's a perfect moment too when you have the fish right there in above the water. And then you have the water splash and everything. It's just perfect. All right, Jörg Hummerjoga says that different star colors come from different temperature of the stars. Thank you. I always learn something. Now I know that. Yeah, Keith Johnson made a great shot. Then we have another street photograph here, which is by Harald Halfpap. This photo is one of the series of pictures that also travelers at an airport from the same perspective with more or less luggage, relaxed in a hurry, walk past a store. Yeah, I think the perfect moment where the fingers cross in the middle of the image. Of course, you cannot control the people in the back, so there is one person right in the middle. If that person wasn't there, it would be even better. But I think it totally works this way too, because I know we can't control that. And still, that moment you need to catch it and make that shot. And the position of the guy in the front, the leg and everything is just perfect. You get the shadows, and this is a good place to photograph because you have the thing is backlit, and you get this nice shining on the floor, and then you have the shadows. And I think it's just wonderful. It works wonders when you have this something bright in the background. And this is something for if you have to wait something. This is a good for fishing technique, that you just see something interesting background, whatever it is, and just wait there for something to happen. And on an airport, what else can you do? Of course, you can sit in a bar or take some great shots. And I think making some great shots is easy. No, I mean, not easy, but more wise thing to do. But of course, you have to remember that sometimes these places are private property and you might not be able to photograph there. So be aware of that. But if you have the possibility, this is a perfect spot to do some more, like you said, that you have. And then, yeah, here we go to the next one. And taken in Chester. I turned to speak and this image just popped out and took it without thinking. David Jones. Yeah, this is a very strong image too, and there is a lot of symbolism there. Where are they walking? Towards the darkness from the light, or is the light kind of like lighting their way to somewhere? And you know, the walls there, they're kind of going into to a dark tunnel. We can kind of build that in our imagination. And then of course the rim light, or the light that makes the kind of like the rim light around the people. It's very strong image. Yeah, a lot of symbolism in this one. Great shot. And then we have Rene Sutter. This summer I spent my holiday in Sri Lanka. Daily would find me on the street for portraits and street photography. I made a series of people in buses. When it rained, there was an extra opportunity to do panning with people sitting behind the windows in the bus. I used low shutter speed of 1/30th of a second. When the bus passes, local people with umbrellas walk between me and the bus. The scene gave me the opportunity to make this shot. To be honest, this is of course a lucky shot. Yeah, most of street photographs and these type of shots are lucky. It's just astonishing thing that some people have more luck than others. I don't know where that comes from, but yes, it's just a great image. A lot of color and bright colors, saturated colors, and then some motion blur. But there is still enough sharpness right there in the middle, and these are a little bit unsharp because of the motion. And then of course this one is, but it's sharp enough so you can kind of see what it is. It is very colorful bus. And all that, and also the position of the leg with the person with the blue umbrella is just perfect. It works really well. And also, three odd numbers that usually works well. There are 3 umbrellas, and different colors too. They are, so it works really well. And of course, the yellow bag and the yellow pants kind of get our attention immediately in the middle. And then we start seeing the other things. Yeah, works really well. Then we have Andre Acevedo. This one was his a long-time project or idea to get this type of image. And this would seem to be a really very easy image, but it actually isn't. Because the problem with this is that you have the perfect panning, because of course you can't really always do that, and you have to wait for the next one. So and maybe the light isn't perfect, and there might be some people walking, some cars, or everything. But this what it is, that is, it's, I don't know if you can see it, but it's pin sharp here, and you got people looking at the camera. I don't know what they're looking at, but it looks like they are looking at the camera. And also the perfect exposure. You have this slightly brighter than the background, which makes the people in the background or inside the tram pop out. And also the colors of this, and enough motion blur in the background, but not too much, so it's still some texture there, so you can see that it is an old building, and it works perfectly. Maybe a slight vignette here to darken this just a little bit. It's a bit too bright in my opinion, because it slightly draws the attention. Just making that a little bit darker, it would be even better. But yeah, well done, Andre. It's here. And this one is a morning view by Ralph Basfeld. A morning view of the mountains above Bozen in South Tyrol. I think that's Switzerland, isn't it? Or Austria. That's Austria, yeah. I like how the trees at the top create extreme long shadows in the light. I took this from a balcony in Italy. It is, yes. It is Italy. Sorry about that. My geography about the South Tyrol is not very good. But yeah, I like the long light trails and the shadows, and it's very mystical image, and this could be from a movie scene or very cinematic image in a way. I don't know how it looks. I have the stream here. Yeah, it's a little bit dark on the sides. I can see the detail on the darker parts of the area. There are some black areas, but you could see a little bit more than compared to the stream. And yeah, then you have this right there. You got some in the middle. You have all kinds of shades and different colors, and of course the light is the thing that makes the image. Probably in a dull weather, this place wouldn't look that interesting, but like this, it's just gorgeous. And usually when you're making this type of images, you have to be quick, because usually these don't last very long. If it's a windy day, it's like a fraction of a second, so you have to be really quick to make this type of image. It looks that it's easy, but usually what they do is that they just set up their cameras and just wait for the perfect light. I don't know how this happened, if this was just a lucky shot in a way that you just were there at the right spot at the right time. I don't know. And then we have image by William Hansen, snow blizzard coming to town. I was with mom in a shop, but had to get this shot first. Yeah, always take the shot first. Heavy hail hit right after, taken in Tórshavn, that's Faroe Islands. Yeah, the stunning shot of the weather. And you know, this is a good way. Don't go to the shop before you take the image if you see something like that. And I like the house or the big building in the lower left corner too. It gives some scale to the image and how huge that is. That snowstorm that hits. It's not actually that north, but anyways, it's still up north, but not that much. Yeah, and the really deep blue sky in the background is a nice contrast to the thing. It looks a little bit odd, but if it's snow, then it is like that. Yeah, well done, William. And then Isabella Farago's image from Rhodes Island in the off season after 5 years. So she's been there since last time was 5 years ago, and now again. So I checked to see if the speedboat was there still, and it was, with a twist. Yeah, this is also an image that there's a lot to look at. You have the boat here, then you have the man, what he's doing. There's something in the front, and then you know the mountains in the back, and the composition that there is the shoreline goes around like that, and then you have the mountains in the back. Maybe a little bit contrast to the image could have been an option. I don't know, this could also have been very interesting in color. I don't know. Maybe it could have been too busy. I don't know. Maybe this is the best way. We don't know because I haven't seen this in color, how blue the water is and how blue the sky is. It looks like the sky would have been white. Not sure. But yeah, there's a lot to look at this image. Well done. Then we have something different from Philip Pasieka. Found this little ladybird sleeping in some dew and thought it made a great composition and a little story. Photo taken towards the end of summer, so she might have been getting ready for the colder months. Yeah, it's a beautiful image and really sharp. And these type of images need to be pin sharp. There is no room for artistic unsharpness on these type of images, in my opinion. This usually needs to be sharp, and it's not easy. You know, looks that, yeah, it's very easy to make this, but it's not. You need some special equipment and some skill to do this. And I also enjoy the bubbles, the water bubbles there, the big one and some small ones, and there's one right in the, I don't know if that's a face or whatever, in front there. And the round shape is, of course, the ladybird is there too, is round, so there is kind of like the same shape many times there. Yeah, well done. Then we have this beautiful landscape by Freddy van Erp, taken in the morning sun. Yeah, it's worth getting up early and catch that morning sun. And there is some fog too, I think, in the pretty low. And of course, this is not a big part if we take how much space it takes in the composition, but it is an important part, because without that, it would be pretty dull image. And I think that kind of makes the image, even though it would be an image without the fog and the morning light. So early in the morning and late in the evening, during the dusk and sunset, it's usually the best times, because the light is softer and it comes from a lower angle. You get a lot more interesting images. Yeah, well done. Then we have Simon Zauke. The turquoise light is actually the real one underneath this bridge. The image is about transition between realms. The woman talking on a speakerphone with the blah 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 graffiti is inside realm. A. The man opening the door to the tunnel with different light is emphasizing the transitive state from the different settings of realm B to realm A. Yeah, exactly what before I read this, and I had the same story in my head, that there are two different worlds because of the different lights and kind of like the story and the pillars to kind of like separate the two different worlds. That if you go to the next, or between the next pillars when we're looking from this side, then you have the possibility to go to the realm B, and you know and if you have some place like this, and this could be also the color differences in the light could be done with image editing to make it a little bit warmer, and the other one make it a little bit more sinister, like this one is. But I think this, if we understand correctly from the text what Simon was writing, it's probably that's the real color, so there is no editing in that sense. Yeah, a perfect moment again, which of course you need a little bit luck. Let me check out a little bit of if there are any. Yeah. Yeah, let's take the next one. Yeah, this is a very, very good shot. And then a little similar shot with different vibes. This is from Clifford Collins. I had not been out of the house for some time, and a friend wanted to go somewhere and take pictures of something. So we went to Old Sacramento to do some street photography. Yeah, well done. This is a very good place. It looks like an interesting place to photograph and stand in front of this. It looks like at first it looks, well, it's like women's wear, the shop. And this is a good place to wait for something to happen. A certain type of lady walks in that kind of fits with the background, or something that is totally different, or if someone comes out of there or something. It's endless of possibilities. And this is one place that you could be on the other side of a street and have a little bit longer lens, which I don't usually recommend when you're doing street photographs, but in this it could work, because then it kind of like the compression and everything could work on this one. But yeah, the lady in the middle here, perfectly unsharp because of the motion blur, and perfect position right there in the middle. And then this kind of like a fine stockings and socks and probably underwear and all kinds of stuff, and then you have the trash cans in the front, which is kind of like a contrast to the rest of the stuff. But a very nice place to make some photographs. And then this is from Case Siemens. Not sure if this is not sure if it's my best picture from 2024, but I like the atmosphere and the light in this picture. The light makes the picture for me. Yeah, definitely it's the light. And this is a very classical way of treating light. You have this light coming from a low angle, and you got long shadows and nice reflections in the front, and a few people in front of the window. And then of course I like the way what's kind of interesting is that the window or the doors are in the middle of the frame, but when you look at it, it looks like it's not, because of the lights come a little bit to the side. And that's why I think this keeps me looking longer, because usually these type of images are a bit cliches, but because of the kind of tilted perspective in a way that it looks like it's leaning towards that, because the light comes from this, makes it interesting. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it works. And that's probably why you like this image yourself. Yeah, well done again. Then we have this one, which is from, not sure if it's in Vietnam or Cambodia, but it was Jake Ozegovich who made a trip there. and it was early morning to when he wanted to watch the sunrise, and yeah, wise thing, you can get some great shots. And let's see, what else does it say? It was yeah, I took a few pictures standing, but when I lowered myself to ground level, the sun hit one of the monks at that moment, and I captured the instant thinking. Yeah, this light here is just the perfect, and a good thing to go down and see another perspective. If you're not happy with the the height where you're photographing, just go down or try to go up if that's the better case here. But I think this worked really well, and the light, and this is also probably that light streak there didn't last for more than a half a second. It was probably gone after that, so a perfect timing. And it makes something also in the foreground. It makes depth to the image when you have something in the foreground, because this one goes behind and this one goes in front, so you have layers. And then of course the background is the third or fourth layer, which makes it more interesting. And of course the background is slightly brighter behind the monk, which is in a bit of a shadow, so that works also as a contrast. So if you look at around his head, you see that bright halo there in the background, which kind of makes the monk pop out from the sea and makes it more 3D. And then with the light streak in the front, it's even better with that. It's well done. Then we have this, which is from Fredrik Sjöström, Lucia cruising at Sveavägen in Stockholm. So it's for Lucia Day, so that's December 14th. And first when I saw this image, to be honest, I thought it looks like an old image from East Europe because of the cars. Of course, this old Volvo PV544, I think it is. But this car here is something really old, and it looks like an Eastern European car from the 70s. But the thing that makes this image so interesting is the color of the car, of the Volvo. It's striking blue, and then you have some blue in the background, and I don't know where this probably is a reflection. The blue in the lady is a reflection of the car. And yeah, this is also one of those kind of like timeless images, and even though not much happened here in the image itself, it's still something that you look at a long time, and then you just start building a story. So what is going on here? And I don't see a driver in the car in the back. I don't know, maybe it's just doesn't, I don't know, but it looks like it's driving because it has the lights on, even though of course it's right next to the sidewalk here. But yeah, it's a strange image in a good way. I like this image a lot. It's something that you can look a long time and wonder what's going on here. And it's even more peculiar when it's Lucia cruising, and it's just very cool. Thanks, Cliff. And in Finnish, appreciate that. And let's continue. This is Carlos Rivas. Captured this family with Santa hats listening to the bagpipe player in Pebble Beach on Christmas week, a regular attraction at this resort by the California coast at sunset. Yeah, it's an odd thing. Wait a minute. Bagpipe, yeah. Someone is playing bagpipe. It's probably back there, and then you have these Santa hats. And what I like about this again is the composition. It's not the obvious one when you have these in the side, because when you look at this image, this is so bright. You see this, and then you start wondering, and then all of a sudden you kind of like start smiling when you see the Santa hats. And of course, when we have those hats, it's also associated with winter and snow and all that. And there you have green grass and everything. But okay, it's California, so of course that's the case. So that's also why it looks a little bit odd in my eye, and that is something. And the light is just perfect, and you can see the shape of the ground, and I don't know, it looks like a golf course. It probably is. and the fence in the front, and it kind of leads us also to the image. So there are many places to get into the image, but it's a beautiful image. Yeah, well done. Then we have Jörg Hummerjohan. I like to observe people taking selfies. It's a pure emotional and often very funny. Here in the streets of Madrid, I catch this unique moment with my Pen F. Yeah, these are also something that you really need to react quickly and have these. And usually, when people are making selfies, it's a good kind of time to get a photograph, because they don't realize that you're there. They're concentrating on their own face when they're looking at the screen and doing funny faces. They are not aware of other people, and it's a good kind of way of making maybe a set of images when people making selfies, and you can see them everywhere, and that's why I think it's a good kind of motif to take the photographs. And yeah, and a perfect composition too. You close enough, and then the two faces are not, messing with each other. They're just overlapping the right amount, and just a perfect moment. I don't know how she's clicking the shutter. Maybe there's a shutter button under one finger. I don't know. I don't do selfies that well, so I don't know how they do that. It's hard. But yeah, very nice shot, Jörg, sorry. Then we have something different from Judith Clark Upton. The Oregon coastal forest provides an ever-changing tapestry of artistic opportunities. The light, rainy, mist, and fog all changing as you walk a path. Bird's foot treefolds begin to appear in late July, and this one was new and misted by the light fog. Upon opening the photo in Lightroom, I discovered the addition of the golden rod crab spider handheld. Yeah, actually I didn't see it until I read that when I was picking the images, when I had taken the images, and then I read these and realized you can see it there on the right side. It's pretty good camouflaged over there. So yeah, and as I said earlier in the macros with the ladybird, that these need to be sharp usually if you want to have the you see the mist, and it's pin sharp. It's just marvelous shot, and the dark background works well. You don't need anything. The contrast, it's just the flower, and it just works. Yeah, well done. And some green here too, which is a nice contrast to the black and yellow. And as I said, pin sharp, a lot of details, which these type of photographs need. Then we have Anne Kasurinen. On one of the last days of summer 2024, I captured this mirror selfie under a big willow tree. The light and weather were perfect, and the mirror reflection blended beautifully with the branches above. The uneven, slightly downhill terrain provided a bit exercise as well, as I held the mirror upright for the shot. And it was used a tripod and wireless trigger, which is also handy with these types of shots. And then she says that otherwise the rest of the year 24 was busy and have not had that much time to photograph, but hopefully year 2025 will be more productive. Yeah, I hope so too, because I always liked your thinking of photography. It's something that I would never come up with or think about doing, but over the years you've sent really interesting images, and I just love this type of strange images, and yeah, it works really well, and it's also where there was one shot under the bridge with 2 dimensions. I think this is a kind of similar thing, that you have 2 dimensions in this, and as you said on the text, that it blends in here. It kind of like there is no mirror here, but of course you can see obviously there is a mirror and there is a frame, but somehow you kind of see through here, even though you don't. It's a reflection of a tree that's somewhere over there. And yeah, I really like this type of, I don't know, what do you call this, experimental conceptual images. Yeah, very cool. Then we have one of these. This has been a pretty popular topic, people walking in front of something. And it's a good topic because, that's sometimes you pick a background and then you wait for something to happen. It's a very effective way. And this is really funny because, you see these, it's a fine art store, you see this, and then you see what he's carrying. I hope that YouTube is not flagging this video because there is something that you cannot show in YouTube videos. And yeah, what I would do is I would maybe straighten it a little bit. Now it's a bit crooked, and that's just me because it's almost straight line here and then it goes a little bit off. But I don't know, maybe that would be, yeah, maybe you want to see the fine art, but then I would straighten this line and straighten this line so that it's parallel. On these ones, I think it works, but if that's the way you like it, then don't do it. It's totally fine like this. It's just me. Don't worry about that. Yeah, but these type of places is if you want to start to do something like this, this is a good way to start to get some stunning images. Yeah, and this one was by Paul Beck, taken in Soho, London. Very lively street, lots of cafes and art shops. I took several shots in front of this art shop and I was very pleased when someone walked along carrying his own art. Yeah. Yeah, well done. And then we have another store, which is by Paul Hendley. While on street expedition in London, I turned a corner and saw this. During post, I realized that it spoke a lot about the relations between the hairdresser and the client, secret, confident, layers in the window, and then the reflections made it special for me. Yeah, good observations on the shots. And I think what I like about these, when you write something about the image, because then you really need to think also about your image. The hardest part is to judge your own images, and that's a good learning also when you write down all this and what are the things why you picked this image. I know it's like so hard to pick one image from the whole year of images, but that is a good learning curve too. So that's why I think that's why I ask about the image, and of course I'm interested to hear your thoughts also on your photographs. And yeah, exactly true. And what it's interesting is that if you look at the image, first you would think that there are like 4 people in it, because from this angle they are not that close. But if you look at these, it's like she's whispering something to her ear. But here clearly we can see that it's probably not the case. So that makes it really interesting. And leaving this around makes some context and makes some layers to it so that you kind of realize that it's a window. Otherwise it would be maybe, I don't know. But I think this works really well, the composition on this image. And there's nothing too much here. I don't know, maybe you have cropped it because it's almost a square image, and that's a wise thing to do. If there is some distracting things, then just, crop it. There's nothing wrong with that. And then this one is the last image, so sorry if your image wasn't on this live stream this time. Maybe next time, I hope. But this is by Mitchell Brown. The conditions were perfect that morning. The air was cold and the fog was gently moving across the bay. The swan was bathing and preeing, and it sat up and put a fantastic dance for my lens. Yeah, it did. It's just a perfect moment, and everything is perfect for this shot. The exposure, sharpness, everything, because there's white in the around the swan, but still you can see the details. It doesn't blend in with the background. It's still out of kind of like, what's the word, but anyways, it doesn't blend in the background, and the moment is perfect. There is slight motion blur in the wings, but then the body of the bird and the head is pin sharp, and it works. It just works so well. But yeah, this time all the images, and as I said, I took 36 this time because there were so many of the images, and I'm really sorry that I can't really show 150 images. I would love to show them, but it's just not possible to to do that. And I hope you enjoyed this. And there's still some time to send images for the 52 assignments in January. If you haven't taken the images, then it's too late because it's February already. But there are 5 maximum amount of 5 images that you can send for the January assignments, and I've got about 92 I think it was at the moment, which is very good amount. I hope it would, let's hope it's be 100, because that'd be cool. Then it would be really tough to be like top 10 or have the best image. There are some stunning shots already that are going to score some points and in different categories or different assignments. And I haven't really checked that if those images are from the same person or not, to just make a glance of the images in Google Photos where they are stored at the moment. But yeah, and speaking of that, I will have the next live stream next Thursday when I will show a massive amount of 50 images, 10 best images of each assignment, and I hope your images are there. And yeah, that's all that I had here. So thank you so much for the images. It means a lot to me when you send those images, and I can give something back because you've been watching my videos, and I can give some back to you guys for being active members. And there are some familiar names and some new names, which is always nice to have both. That there are people that have been sending images for years, and then there are some that has sent it for the first time. This is always nice, and yeah, I think this went well. I'm sorry that I could not bring your comments this time to the screen, but maybe I'll fix it for next Thursday. But hey, thanks for watching, and bye for now.